how to dance. I know people who know how to dance here, and they were hiding. So I'll use some bit of dictatorship to bring them here. Otherwise, I hope you're good. Yeah, so, Charlotte. Okay. So, and thank you for watching that video and the interpretations you made. So we're supposed to give out a shout to someone among the many people that gave answers. So, Madam President, Martha, you're going to have to vote the winner for the shout. Please. Whatever we're doing is level 1 project. It's including everyone. Yeah. We are only practicing the simplest principles of making sure everyone is included. So, Madam President, please come and choose. I don't want you. The president has to come at the front. You are democratically elected by everyone here, not so? Yeah? Who didn't vote the president? Even Jennifer accepted that she's the president.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Are you happy? Are you excited? I don't feel it. We dance again. All right, so I remember we got 4 responses. There were 9. There were 5. Yes, I choose her.
Acceptance.
Thank you so much, Madam President. It's a privilege, and I'm so honored. Who am I? I'm so excited. I'm so happy that you've actually seen me. I know it's not by mistake. Oh, I don't know what to say, but I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
I even feel like crying. Yeah. So, well, we've spent probably the last 5 days having discussions with you, the very amazing people. Maybe we forget to mention to you that we are learning a lot from you. A lot that we would never learn in any classroom we attended. And we are learning better ways of dealing with people like you who are innovative, who are disruptive, but also as human as all of us. So the learning is not about us. And if someone among you, like I said on our first day, has something burning they would want to teach all of us, please feel free to use the time when you see me here. You can tell me, instead of you teaching what you have to teach, yeah, or sharing, let me be the one in charge. Isn't that fair enough? Derek, no. PDF. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll leave this. So, Zahara, are you okay? Salam alaikum. Where is Sauda? Sumaya, are you okay? Have you created a TikTok video for the people in Bara? Yeah? So we'll have a challenge probably tomorrow on money bags, and the one who will have the most viewed video, yeah, will win something. Yeah? Derek, time. Oh, thank you. Can I get it in? Very good. So technology is not technologying very well, but don't worry. So in the next about 15 minutes, I want us to briefly discuss meeting the needs of low-income users that some refer to as poor. But I want us to look at meeting the needs of low-income users. And Marion, what do you think should be done to meet the needs of low-income users?
I think more job opportunities should be created in Uganda so that everyone can have a job and maybe have somewhere to work and get money.
Thank you so much. I'm Jennifer Nana from Team Answer Women Foundation. For me, I believe that the only thing that we can do to meet the needs of low-income users is to empower as many as we can. Because when they empower me with the skills, I will be able to create my own job and I'll be able to earn from it and also support other people around me. So by giving different skills to women out there, including those who are in the rural areas, it will be able to allow them, in fact, even their lifespan will increase because they'll have no worry because they know at least they have something that they're doing and that they're earning from them. Thank you.
Thank you, aspirant, Madam Aspirant.
No, I didn't. Okay, thank you. I think how we can meet the needs, yes, meet the needs of low-income users, I think is to understand the system within which they operate. I believe low-income users have a cycle in which let's say their interactions, for example, money, they have a cycle in which their money flows, the one we call low income. So I think it's to sort of like penetrate that system and create frameworks or systems that align within which the flow of their resources move, something like that.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You said frameworks.
I'm just adding on what Elizabeth said. I think we should make systems that are tailored for them to include them in the whole ecosystem of finances, to also include them in like to get something that is for them to transfer money, probably cheaper because of course they're low income earners. Yes, to get something that they can easily get, probably like people who are creating systems that can go in butochi funds. They're called butochi. Yes, those ones, yeah.
Give you a touch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patra Higeni, and I'm from Mama's Daily Cookie. So I personally believe the best way we can help low-income earners is by helping them transition from the low-income bracket to a higher income bracket. I feel we can do this by I think it's the first speaker that mentioned about skilling. My comment is a bit similar, but it's more about giving them financial literacy knowledge in the most basic level, in that they can grow their incomes from a point of understanding.
Well, I think we can design a simple package for them, a service package for them, whereby they can be it can be accessible even on a small phone. Maybe say, for example, using a USSD. Then also we could try to make innovations. We could train them. We could upskill them so that they can get things like income using hands-on, since most of them don't have maybe a profession or something like that. So we could give them more skills, train them so they can upgrade.
Mine is almost similar to what she was saying. Like when you're designing these systems, we have to cater for those low-income earners. For example, if I'm to work on maybe an immunization system, so I'm trying to send maybe reminders to people. So you have to take note of the people in the village who don't have smartphones. So you're trying to use SMS messages to send to those people.
Thank you. So I think we just have to remember the different categories of low-income earners, because even a student is a very low-income earner. So you just have to make sure like the system is affordable for that specific low-income earner that you're designing for. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana.
Right. Personally, I think, one, many people may be poor, and as a result, at one time in life, they become hopeless. So personally, I think to help them out, we would put their programs that would help them learn some skills, and you don't only stop on that, but you keep a follow-up, because at one point in life, many of them go and learn these skills. For example, ladies like tailoring and doing other things, but again, still they lose hope. They don't see any journey. So after teaching them the skills, maybe you can give them a start, give them some money to start, and you keep on monitoring them. Then they will have the hope, and you would have hope to them. Thank you.
I think introducing the minimum wage would help them so that they are not very exploited for what they're bringing on the table. Introduce the minimum wage so that even if it is low, they can at least sustain themselves and it's not of such low income.
Thank you very much. My name is Happy from Safe and Free. So, it's okay. So, in order to meet the needs of low-income earners, I'm going to give a scenario of what we're doing right now. We're designing solutions. So, if you are designing a solution for a low-income earner, you should make sure that your solution has minimal costs of transfer. Because if you take a case scenario, there's a reason as to why most people use mobile money now than banks. Yeah. So if your solution has a really low rate of transferring funds, then chances are high that people are going to actually use it and take it on.
You happy? Lastly, Marion.
My name is Marion. I wanted to improve my answer, but he said it. The way we can improve the lives of low-income earners is providing platforms for skilling them with these normal hands-on activities, and then providing loans to them so that they can start up their own businesses.
Thank you, Marion, Olivia. Thank you all. A big round of applause for all of you. You are such a smart group, so I'll use about 10 minutes to do something from the 2018 Level 1 Project Guide. And yeah, then I'll leave the microphone and the floor for our next speaker, who is coming from Centenary Bank. So from a Level 1 project perspective, the Level 1 project remains focused on enabling financial inclusion by meeting the needs of low-income users, both individuals and merchants, as well as digital financial service providers that serve them. These goals guide the Level 1 project thinking, including the origination of the Level 1 project design principles, a set of principles to guide countries, regions, or commercial organizations working to create real-time payment systems that are designed to meet the needs of low-income consumers. So what are the principles? I'm sure you heard everyone say, and you can imagine we're all speaking to the same thing in a different language. The first one is accessible. Users can easily acquire and use digital financial services. So meeting the needs of low-income users in this perspective today is more about designing digital financial solutions that are accessible to everyone. Well, skilling is very important. Giving affordable loans and all that is very important. But accessibility comes first. Why? If someone cannot access a tool like a smartphone, a simple phone that is maybe about $3 to use, then they cannot be onboarded onto formal financial rails. So the first bit should be, are the solutions you're creating usable by everyone, or you're creating them for the smart people who use smartphones like you? First bit. The second is reliable. Users' money and information are secure and available for use. Systems help deter usage of money laundering and terrorist financing. So, well, if you're creating a financial solution that is supposed to be used by terrorists, you're not doing financial inclusion. I think you're doing exclusion. You want to get people dying because you want to create a transaction mode for terrorists. They should be secure that fraud should be limited. People should not be losing their money because they're using their phone to transact. We've had this argument with so many people on television and telling them that I think theft and the so-called butaimbwa went down because of mobile money, because people have learned to live with digital money. So now the only thing that can happen to them is you can only steal their phone. So one has a phone that is maybe 20,000, 40. You steal the 40,000 phone, but you can't steal the money if they have 200,000 shillings on their phone. Otherwise, before, people could be killed for 50,000, for 100,000, for 10,000 shillings. Valuable. These solutions we are creating should be able to increase the value proposition for low-income consumers to use digital financial services rather than cash or other traditional services. So the availability is, if I send you 50,000 shillings, do you get 50,000 or you get 48? So we are still having a challenge in that. You've noticed very many merchants don't want to use merchant products. Why? You pay them at no cost, but then they have to liquidate their money or withdraw it by paying some cost. So are we able to create solutions anywhere universally, especially using mobile solutions, that give the same value, that when I pay you with a cash note, you get your 50,000, you have 50,000. Not so? Yet when I send you 50,000 using mobile money, there is an additional cost. But then that cost in some ways, if we are here and I should pay you 50,000, there are benefits I get. One, using mobile money, I have a receipt automatically. Two, the money is safe. Of course, when I have a receipt, I have accountability. But then imagine a situation when, Jose, you have a girlfriend in Bugembe, and you want to send her lunch, and you have to send her a cash note, and you give it to a taxi driver. When will it reach? Yeah? Tomorrow, Okay. So the advantages are numerous. So the value is something we're really working on, and that's why we are proposing things like building national payment infrastructures like payment switches, because when they are created by national governments or a collaboration of players, FinTechs, DFSPs, and all the rest, the cost of transactions go down and the value for digital financial services improves for everyone. I don't know how many of you have received money from the diaspora, especially from Asia, but someone sends 900,000 shillings and they're charged 70,000. And you know what 70,000 can do, If we decided to do a Rolex party here of 70,000, everyone will have a Rolex and we'll all be happy. Should we have one this afternoon? Okay. We should buy some Rolexes. Let's look for one who makes good ones. So, digital financial services should also be affordable. Well, the two might be confusing because having value should also be a different consideration from being affordable. Affordability should mean that anyone that needs to access these services to get onboarded into formal financial rails should be able to afford them. Have you heard of a solution called KAU? Yeah, so KAU is one of our own, started in this place and is now gone to the world. And they use smart cards to secure pocket money for students in schools. But we're having a challenge with KAU right now, and sorry, but sometimes I feel like abusing our regulators, yeah? Because KAU started up maybe about 18 months ago. We got this product on the market. I was mentoring the team for a whole year. And into the market, the regulator wants 150 million for regulation every year. And it's rubbish, like without any doubt, yeah? There is not a single way someone is going to pay 150 million and pay it for 1 year as regulation fee, and then they have no money to pay their team, and then they even haven't collected revenue that much, and then you expect them to operate the next year. So when we are creating value, when we're creating affordability, one of the things that will happen, and I'm excited for the fact that for many years we've been advocating for having a national payment switch, and now the Bank of Uganda recently released an RFP, and the payment switch will be in place maybe within the next 24 months. When that happens, we expect that the cost of digital financial services is going to go down exponentially. Why? Because those who are going to be integrating with other players are going to find the cost a little bit more affordable. Instead of having so many bilateral connections between you, the fintechs. Where is HiPipo? I haven't seen HiPipo. Hey, I saw you. So instead of HiPipo, Safaricom, Centenary Bank, MTN, Airtel, all having to create bilateral connections with each other, Centenary Bank has to connect with HiPipo, and connect with MTN, and connect with UTL, and connect with Safaricom, and then the same has to happen with HiPipo. They have to do bilateral connections with each other. A national payment switch would make it easier and affordable for everyone, that all of us would be able to integrate with each other in the same switch, and then be able to serve any player and any consumer. And then all of us here, no matter who you're banking with HiPipo, you're banking with Centenary Bank, you're banking with Safaricom, whoever it is, you'll be able to pay anyone and receive payment from anyone in real time. You get the essence of having a switch? So affordability will be achieved by having such things done. And the last bit is profitability. I have about 4 minutes to go. So profitability is about you that are the innovators. Of course, the likes of Centenary Bank are already profitable. Centenary Bank is making how many years? 40? Yeah, so they are making 40 years. Without any doubt, older than 98% of people in this room, including myself, yeah. So they are making 40 years. HiPipo is making 19. You can imagine, eh? Probably we have half of the money that Centenary Bank has, yeah? Because we have 19 years. I don't know, but I'll check our account and my account and see how much I have. But as we are talking about profitability, we don't want you to create products for charity, because none of you is a charity organization. We want you to innovate and earn from those innovations you've created. We don't want you to innovate and then begin asking for jobs at the same time. There are no jobs. No one should lie to you. You should create the jobs or create value that earns you money. So whatever we are going to be innovating, we should make sure that at the end of the day, whether it takes us a year or 5 years or 10, the goal should be that it should become sustainable and profitable for all of us that are innovators. Not so? When that is done, when we are able to meet these needs of low-income users, I'm going to share this entire document with you, the Level 1 project guide, so don't worry. So when we are able to do this and make sure the solutions are accessible, they are reliable, they are valuable, they are affordable, and also profitable for the innovators, then we are creating means that help us to meet the needs of low-income users. So, as I conclude, meeting the needs of low-income users plays a very fundamental role in making sure that we achieve financial inclusion and play a role in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. So there are probably more than 1.4 billion people today world over that are still financially excluded. But thanks to mobile financial services like mobile banking, mobile money, and all these innovations that fintechs are creating, so many people have been actively onboarded, and at least 600 million people use digital financial services in Africa every month, at least once every month, which is great progress. It wasn't the same case 15 years ago when Centenary Bank had maybe like 1.2 million people. He will tell us he's from Centenary. So it wasn't the same case. Your innovations have changed a lot in how we live in the world of finance. But importantly, the goal for meeting the needs of low-income consumers is all about making sure that we build an economy that includes and benefits everyone, right? Thank you. Have a great day.
Is that enough, really? Thank you so much, Innocent. And now, do we all know what principles we have to include in our solutions? Yeah? I'm glad. So the next presentation, I will be glad to hear, like, okay, ours we have put, it is variable, it is affordable, it is profitable. Are we there yet? Okay, so thank you so much, Innocent. Next, we have Osbat, is from Centenary, FinTech, Centenary Technology. It's a sister of Centenary Bank. So I just remembered, I just had a short conversation with Osbat, and I was asking him the other name. I asked him, are you Ugandan? I was like, yes. He's like, how about that name? I don't know it. I've not heard about it before. And he told me it's just from Tororo, and I didn't know. So the hackathon gets us to know more about our own country. Can you imagine that? So without wasting any time, I'm going to invite Osbat to take us through the next session. He's going to introduce himself more.
Thank you, Charlotte. Good morning to you all. You see, I came in wearing a jacket. Then I said, no, I'm not fitting in. So I've done my best to be casual. I don't know what you think. I'm glad to meet you all. You're all looking sharp. I think our future is bright. In terms of what I'm here to discuss, the slide is not yet up. So I come from a company called Centenary Technology Services. I know it was earlier said that I'm from Centenary Bank, and I believe you interfaced with people from the bank yesterday, right? So Centenary Technology Services is a technology company under the Centenary Group. So the Centenary Group owns the bank, the technology services company, and also the foundation. Will I be swiped? Okay. My phone's safe. Good. So I'm not spend much time talking about Centenary Technology Services, but one thing I can say is that it's just 1 year old, and it was created to support the companies under the Centenary Group, but also to do work outside the Centenary Group. Now, one thing I want to mention that we have done, and that is being launched this Thursday, 17th, by the Vice President, is the Digital Transformation Roadmap for Uganda. This we did with the UNDP on behalf of the Ministry of ICT. So that's one of our consultancies we have done. And what's important in that document, you're going to be able to access it starting Thursday, maybe around noon. You should be able to see the plans that the government has in terms of moving ICT or digital transformation to the next level. But I just talk about the 5 pillars. Infrastructure. You're all coming up with solutions, but you have to have in your mind the available infrastructure, the quality of the infrastructure in this country. I know most of you are going to say, okay, if I take it to a remote area, there's no connectivity, right? Or there's no power. So infrastructure, in that document, you will see activities that are being planned to improve on the state of infrastructure. Number 2 is the digital skills. Digital skills, some of the things you're doing today form part of that plan. E-services, or what we call digital services, the solutions you're building, simply having online solutions, right? Innovation, you're innovators, right? So one of the key pillars in that document is, how do we help the innovators in the country? How do we support them to bring their products to life? How do we help them be competitive with the rest of the world? Cybersecurity and privacy. So those are some of the key pillars. So today in particular, I've been asked to talk about what skills you need as innovators, as people in tech. Sorry, I think they told me women in tech, but now I can see gentlemen. It's okay. People in tech, what do you need to move forward, or as you move with your solutions? One of the things, I started with business analysis. My background is software development, but I now understand how developers think and the gaps that developers have when it comes to being in the real world. So that's why actually my first slide is business analysis and not full stack what? Full stack development. Yes, so business analysis, why? You're building solutions here. Thank you. I've been asked to be a bit more central. So the FinTech solutions that you're building, who are you building the solutions for? Do you know your customer? That's the first thing, business analysis. What is their strategy? What are the laws in the country surrounding, maybe let's say it's a bank that you're targeting. Let's assume it's a bank. What are their pain points at the moment? What solution are you trying to solve? So having business analysis skills is very important. You need to be able to talk to the owners of these businesses, understand their problems so that you're able to give them solutions. And like the previous speaker said, value. What value are you bringing to this client? You have to think about that, because normally as developers, we come up with solutions, approach a company, and you say, I've tested this, it works. Well, I mean, why aren't you paying? Why aren't you buying the solution? What is the value that you're bringing to the company? Their problem might be that they're spending too much on their IT staff and buying so many solutions. Some are doing the same things. So how are you helping them solve that? Reduce the cost of IT, at the same time, increasing value to their customers. So normally, you need to look at some of the reports in these companies. Most of these companies have annual reports at the end of every year. In that report, you're able to identify the problems. For instance, it could be fraud. Fraud is very common now in financial institutions. The FinTech solutions that you're building, and you'll see later, I would stress on the point of cybersecurity. How are you protecting? I know it has been mentioned already. So there's a lot of fraud in the industry, and most of these institutions are losing money through these digital platforms. So are you coming up with a solution that's going to fix that? And how are your solutions going to be future-proof against those attacks? Project management. Who understands project management here? Any volunteers? Yes, please. You don't have a mic? Do you have a second mic? Why is project management important for you as an entrepreneur?
Right, according to me, I I would say project management would involve some activities like, one, keeping track of what's taking place as maybe you're coming up with your product, having a clear plan of how things are going to be, the costs, the time it will take for you to develop that, and other expenditures that you're going to incur while you're coming up with this product, but not to forget to also put the user requirements at the center, because that's what matters when you're coming up with a project. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do I need to say more? So you need to learn how to manage your projects. Imagine you're given the contract. How are you going to engage the client from day one? How are you going to control the costs of the project? The different risks that will come up in the project, the time management. If a project is supposed to take 6 months and you're delivering it in 3 years, that's a red flag. So project management skills, very important. And normally in technology, we have the Scrum approach. How do you manage your teams? How do you check on the deliverables on a weekly basis, a number of days? We also have the agile kind of development approaches. And the industry has some standards that help you if you want to go further and understand how projects are managed. Great. Communication. I have heard you guys, you're good actually. You're very good at speaking, and I've seen the confidence. That's a good thing. This is required for you to be able to make it out there. How do you communicate your ideas? How do you present your solutions? How do you report progress? How do you write emails? Do you say, hi, CEO, what's up? Can we catch up? I've forgotten all the slangs. I'm quite old now. But verbal communication, how do you use social media? How do you manage? I put in there change management, not because I wanted it to be here, but coming up with a new solution is going to require that you change the minds and hearts of the people in that company, wherever you're deploying your solution. Changing their minds and hearts requires that you learn how to engage them, how to, understand where they're coming from, their challenges. In some places, I used to work for one regulator that the previous speaker, Hamadia, didn't mention the name. In government, as an example, it was so difficult for us, the time I was in NITA, to roll out some services because some of the government offices had really old people. You bring technology and it's a problem. Somebody has to go back to school. So how do you encourage them and say, look, this is going to help you work better. It's not going to replace your job. So these are some of the things that you need to have. The final point under communication is, I know we are techies and we cannot help it, when we're explaining certain things, you always want to bring your technical jargons, APIs, back end, What are the complex terms? Can you tell me? Yeah? Front end. Front end. Algorithms, You are meeting a CEO. MTN CEO might be technical. The CEO of Yuga Chick. Okay. Yuga Chick. And you're telling them, I have cool APIs for you. This is going to help you solve your problem. What are APIs? So, know your audience. Know your audience. If you're speaking to the board of a company or top management, probably there's no IT person in that room. So, if you're talking about APIs, you have to find the simplest way to explain and say, look, I have some data somewhere, and you have your data over there. I want to enable you access that data. Simplify your communication. So that's one of the things that you need to have in your bag of skills. Now, product management. You're building products, right? What's the name of your product?
Empowerment Hub.
Yeah, now just imagine you have this product, you've deployed it. After 1 year, there might be need to, improve it or retire, build something new. How do you manage your solutions? Assume it's a software as a service solution. You have clients, they need this product to be available 24/7. How do you ensure that the service delivery is constant, is good? So these are some of the things you need to know under product management. One of the frameworks out there in terms of general IT service management is ITIL, IT Infrastructure Library. It's a framework that helps you manage your whole service delivery. So whether it's a help desk, whether it's understanding the services and things like that. So product management is another thing. Marketing. Who is good here with social media marketing? Confidence. I mean, it's basically you have your product. The previous speaker said you need to create jobs, right? So you've built your product. How do you ensure that people are aware of your product? So some of the platforms, you can use the online platforms, analytics, how is it performing online, and things like that. Digital marketing is quite big, but it's one of the skills that you need to move forward. Decision making, it's easy to put it up there. It's difficult for all of us to do. You're going to be a leader. You're going to be CEOs in your companies, in your startups. Decision making is very important. Generally, leadership. Quick decisions, well, I think someone said it's better to make a wrong decision than not to make any at all. Should we go live? Should we deploy? Should we, you spend 1 year, you're still thinking, is it good enough? Is this rival product? Will I make it? Take quick decisions, have the product out there, see how it goes. So one of the things, decision making, is very important. Now, this one is, I don't know how to explain this, uniqueness. It could be you as an individual, the team leader, or your product. How is it differentiated from what is out there? But I think here, what I just meant is, what are you bringing to the table? How is it different? How do you use your strengths to take advantage of the situation? Your strengths. Each of us here has got our own strengths. Some people are so shy. Public speaking is a problem for them. I'm one of those. I'm actually shaking right now. So, use your strengths to your advantage. That's all I mean. It could be the tools you're using. It could be your personality. People just, the room just comes to life when you enter. You know those people? They walk in and, the vibe just, catches fire or catches up. So, how are you different? And what are you bringing to the table? Now, I know that normally most of us don't want anything to do with accounts and understanding the financials. But once you start running your own businesses, you're going to have to be interested in the numbers, okay? You have a product, you put it out there. Is it bringing back money to you? Return on your investments. Some of you are going to attract investors. They'll be, at the end of a period, they'll be expecting what? Dividends, they call them, right? So you need to keep your eyes. How do you budget? So as you come up with your products, you're going to definitely have to understand how to budget, how our money is coming in, how our money is going out, your cash flows, are there taxes to pay? And this goes hand in hand with understanding how your company operates and what is required of your company in the country. So engagement is quite related to communication, but I just put it out here because as an entrepreneur or as someone going to be out there in business, you're going to learn how to socialize more, how to hang around, people or places where you think you can attract business. And well, sometimes might cost you some money, sometimes may not. It may just be as simple as, going to some places where there are workshops or something and getting to know some people, networking. Do we have Rotaractors here? Hands up. Wow. Great. Rotarians? Okay. Oh, Charlotte. I'm also a Rotarian. So, one of the ideas is that joining some of these clubs, some people are excited. Rotary is you meet different people, and they say your network is your net worth. So you understand that. So in Rotary, almost every week I visit a club, a different club, and I meet different people. Oh man, what do you do? What kind of solutions? Oh, get me a contact. And you're in business. Socializing, engagement, continuous learning and growth. You know this, definitely. You have to keep polishing, keep updating. What are the latest technologies? How are people doing things nowadays? You have to keep updated. There's a lot of material online. Some of us really learn things online. I'm also very interested in big data, AI, as a science, all that stuff. I learned this online. I also love music. So I'm an upcoming producer at this age with my gray hair. So keep reading, keep testing out new things, emerging technologies. Everybody talks about emerging technologies. You know them, augmented reality, blockchain. Explore. How is this technology going to help you in whatever you're building? As the FinTech solutions you're building, as an example, might they require blockchain technologies? Might they require AI, technologies embedded in there? So you need to explore some of these new technologies and how you can bring them to life in your solutions. Who can talk about emotional intelligence with an example? Someone nominated you.
Someone nominated me. Can I also? No.
I think emotional intelligence is being able to control whatever is going on in your mind. You don't act under impulse over what's going on, and something like that. Thank you.
Wow, another try. Do you have the second mic near you? Please.
I would say emotional intelligence is the ability to manage your own emotions and to understand the emotions of the people around you.
Thank you. Kindly pass it to the next person.
Emotional intelligence is being empathetic, putting others before yourself, and also, like, you treat people the way you'd have loved them to treat you. That's being emotionally intelligent. And I think that is it.
Thank you. The lady at the back.
Emotional intelligence is being aware of how you feel and being aware of how the other person feels so that you can handle situations from that point of understanding.
Thank you. So, my friends, you can have all the programming skills. You can have all the, be the best in AI and all these things. But without emotional intelligence, you will not even fit in the work environment. How do you deal with your bosses? How do you deal with failure, bad feedback? You're here, you're going to, be invited to pitch your products. And then you'll find some arrogant person on the panel who will say, what you're doing is rubbish. Yes. What you're doing is rubbish. How will you react? How would you react?
I would first compose myself. Because honestly, that would be a very bad statement if I got it. And obviously, I would get a little furious, but of course, I would not show it to them. So the first thing I would do is compose myself first and get this whole thing off me, then find appropriate feedback to give them.
Thank you so much. So it happens a lot in the workplace, or whatever. You're a consultant, you pitch, they tell you this is rubbish. Maybe you can say, you can even say, there might have been some miscommunication, but we shall work on it and get back to you, sir. Even when you're boiling inside. So some of the things you need to have. How do you deal with your bosses? Bosses, people are different. Okay? Some guys are just quiet, they love their space. Some guys don't want to be greeted every moment, every morning. How do you do that? Subordinates, understand them. There's something called clarity 4D, which is one of those management things. But they categorize people in colors. We have the reds. There are some people here who are red. If you took that survey now, it will categorize you either in the red group, blue, green, or yellow. Someone there knows. So the reds normally, they just want things to get done at whatever cost. If it means stepping on you, they'll step on you as long as they reach their destination. The blues like following order. What are the policies in government? So by the time you come to that person's desk, they'll check, where is your national ID? Where is your grandmother's letter? LOC1. They can't even bend anything for you. Then we have the greens who are so empathetic, they care about you, they put themselves in your shoes, and you have the yellows. Party. They work as they're partying. I have a colleague right now in my office. He sits just opposite me. Every morning he comes in, music. So we work with music. And I've accepted it. So you come in, you just know there's Afrobeat the whole day. So I've learned to work with music in the background. He gets his things done quite early, but he loves to work as he's partying. So you need to understand, you people. Oh, this is what you're waiting for. There's a question.
It's not a question as such, but when you go back to emotional intelligence, I think many of us here are women, and we know women tend to be so tough. Maybe the mentors here who are ladies could also take us through how they manage the things, because when we reach up there and then we are the bosses, so that, we want to include everyone so that we can interact with people the way the gents do it. Because here we are trying to say women in FinTech, we want to be bosses and all that, but if we reach there, can we work with everyone from the person next to us up to the one who is cleaning? Maybe the mentors here should also take us through that.
Any mentor volunteers? Female? Okay, I think we'll have a session. Charlotte has taken notes, so I hope we can have that. Yeah, I know, especially the ladies, I think your challenge is a bit greater. I might be wrong. but I understand what you're saying. And you need to understand how to handle if your boss is hitting on you, as an example. How do you handle that and still stay focused? Right? Okay. So definitely you need technical skills, right? Most of you here are developers, I guess, analysts. You need that. But more importantly, you need to work in teams that complement each other. Just like I said earlier about understanding the strengths, your own strengths, and also emotional intelligence and understanding your environment, you need to build your teams in a way that you complement each other. Some people in teams are analysts. They're very good with customer engagement, understanding what they need. Other guys are good with translating those requirements into technical requirements. Normally you have the business requirements and you have the technical requirements. And then some people are just good in the kitchen, right? Coding, the coding kitchen. So you definitely know front-end development and building the business logic and back-end and all this. Do we still have just front-end developers or it's full stack? Full stack, huh? But then that means you have to really learn a lot. But if you have a big team, then you can subdivide the work. But in most cases, we are solo. I heard you talking about interoperability, the APIs that we talked about earlier. It's very key now because applications right now do not operate in isolation. So you're building a FinTech solution, you're going to require integration with mobile money. That is integration. Integration with digital signatures, you know? So you need all this. And now, when it comes to development, you need to really learn how to carry out your development within a cloud environment. Most people just go to IBM, Amazon, Google platforms. Everything is given to you, provisioned to you. The database and all that. The language environment is in there. You're able to integrate all those components and build your solution and also deploy it very easily, as opposed to building it on your laptop and then you have to shift it. So you need to balance between that. It's one of the skills now is learning how to develop on the cloud. Well, as I come to the end, I think I've spoken a bit about analytics, data. Understanding what your data is telling you is very important. So you need those skills. How do you visualize your data? How do you consolidate data from different sources? Are you picking data from Twitter? You're picking, is it X now? Picking data from X and Facebook, picking data from a bank system. Because some of the solutions you're building, the FinTech solutions, will have to be integrated with, say, a core banking solution that holds all the accounts, account balances. So please, you need to really learn how to integrate. How do you build these REST APIs and all these kind of things? How do you test them? Cybersecurity, I said it before. As you're developing your FinTech solutions, have it in your mind that there are actors out there that want to mess up the whole situation. So you need to understand the technology behind cybersecurity, the risks. Maybe here I'll just pause and say, before you come up with any cybersecurity plan, you need to assess the risk. You see, I shouldn't just tell you, encrypt your data, do all these things, VPN. Why are you encrypting your data? For instance, if it's a solution that publishes the budget for the country, the national budget, what are you securing there? It's public information, right? The only thing you can secure is the actual values entered in the budget system. But if it's just published on the website, Ministry of Finance, that is open to the public. So you need to assess so that then you target where you're applying the security. Otherwise, you'll be applying so many tools, most of them are expensive. without achieving. Maybe one thing in STARS is the OWASP. Anyone heard of OWASP? OWASP? OWASP is an open source project that was undertaken to come up with the best practices for application security, web application security. Now they've gone ahead, every 2 or 3 years they publish the top 10 risks or vulnerabilities in applications. Now, you as developers here, people building solutions, I would recommend that at the end of this, you take your solution through the OWASP top 10 risks of 2023, which is the latest. So you'll see there are things like access control, which most of you do. By default, developers take care of 2 things in the top 10: access control and what we call authorization. As in, who can do what? I'm an admin, I can do this, you know. That one every developer somehow handles. Now the question is, how deep are you going with that? So in the top 10, there are other things. How do you handle data coming from MTN, mobile money? You've integrated, you're happy, the pop-up appears, I pay. But how do you handle the data you're getting from there? Among others. So I recommend that you look at the OWASP top 10 for 2023 and ensure that you comply with that, and your solution will at least be, that's a first step for you to secure your solution. Critical thinking and creativity goes without saying. You're all here, you're brilliant, I know, that's why you're here. So think critically, coming up with solutions, brainstorming. Actually in the workplace, and guys, don't think because you're the CEO, you're the top guy, you cannot get an opinion of an intern. I've worked with many interns before who have brought solutions that no one thought about in the company. Bring them to the boardroom, ask them, what do you think? You'll be surprised. Ask why. Many whys, what if? Why this? Okay, if we do this, then what will happen? Why are we doing this? And so on. Thank you so much. Any questions? Kindly pass the mic at the back. At least you can clap for me. Thank you. It's good manners. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. It was really an informative session. So my inquiry is on how is Centenary Technology Services empowering women and youth, especially in the tech sector? Are there any existing programs that you're running that you could tell us about? Thank you.
This is one of them.
Apart from this one.
Apart from this one. Well, like I said, we're just 1 year old, but that's not an excuse. But we have plans. We collaborate. I told you earlier that for instance, in coming up with the digital transformation roadmap for Uganda, working with the Ministry of ICT and UNDP, we have worked with other people. I not specifically ladies, but actually, you'll be surprised that ladies were the majority. Now, we have plans in our strategy. Actually, I head the strategy unit, IT advisory strategy. We have plans in our strategy based on innovation, based on managed services and advisory services. So some of these things we do, like working with other partners in the ecosystem, like in the innovation ecosystem, to see how we can give back, not only to the women, but to the young people that are in technology. We have also recently done work with the MTN Foundation, which was around digital skilling, and we did work with Refactory. I think you guys know Refactory, which helped to skill a number of young people. They're still undergoing some kind of, training and mentorship program. So we are open to collaboration. That's one of our strategies. But also in our consulting works and in the upcoming projects, we shall look to collaborate and work with innovators because we cannot do it alone. Our model is not that we're going to employ so many people at Centenary Technology sitting in one office. No, we want to collaborate. So if you have a solution, like the ones you're building here, how can we come together and push these solutions to the masses? The Centenary family is quite big. We have access almost to 20 million customers through the church, through our branch networks, through the circles, the village circles. So thus we rely on collaboration. Any other question? Yes, sir. The mic? Okay.
Yeah, here. Okay, my name is John Vianney. I'm the founder of Cyanese, co-founder. So at Cyanese, we are developing technologies that help people invest their money. I was wondering, you just mentioned that you guys work with circle groups, you work with churches, and you are pushing for ways people could save their money. So we have APIs that people use that
Did you say APIs?
You do take, right? You do take. So I was using it comfortably because I knew you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, so we have APIs that we partner with FinTechs like Zintitech to provide your customers with investment services. More like if you want your customers to buy a treasury bill, to access a new trust, to those investment services. So I would like to know, are you guys open to partnerships? Are you open to having integrations for your customers?
Yes, we are. Like I said earlier, we can, you can visit us and we have some a chat about your solution. And being the technology company for the Centenary Group, we would then advise the bank. Of course, we are one family, but we're different companies. But definitely being the advisors of the technology company, or rather of the group, we are able to say, look, there's this solution, we've looked at it, we think it's going to be good for you, and we can have a chat with the bank, the respective department, and see how to help, how to work together. Yes, please. After him then.
Thank you. Thank you, our dear mentor. My question is, what are some of examples of a successful product, future design, and what strategies can I use to ensure its successful adoption in the market? Thank you.
Sorry, I think I missed the last bit.
My question is, what are the examples of a successful product feature release, and what are some of strategies can I use to ensure its successful adoption in the market?
Okay, sounds like a tough one. I'll rely on my experience. So successful products or solutions, number one, like I said earlier, value. You can build something for 2 years with all the technologies, but if it doesn't solve the problem, not to be rude like that panelist, you're wasting your time. If it doesn't solve the problem. That's why my first slide was on business analysis and understanding your clients. Number two, it must be secure, like we said earlier. You're building FinTech solutions. It's not secure. If it's open to fraud, you're going to get challenges. It should be easy to use. Okay? Again, it might have value, but for me to be able to achieve that value, I must employ like 30 people. So one enters data, other one does this. So what is your process? As you're coming up with these solutions, think about the steps involved. There's something called business process analysis also. You know, when you get to a new place and they say, look, we're giving out loans. How long does it take now, let's say Centenary Bank, to give you a loan from the time you apply? So if you have those metrics and say, oh, it takes them 2 days. No, with my solution, it's going to take 20 minutes. Why? Because I've integrated with NIRA, I can easily pull this data. I can easily check that this guy is going to pay back the money, and boom. So you need to look at your process. If your solution has so many steps, so many actors, clicking buttons left and right, going so many menus, it's going to become so difficult. The best example is Google. Who cannot use Google, guys? It's just one screen, Google, type whatever you want and fire, right? So make your solution easy to use. Let it have few steps. Let it give value. Let it be secure. And of course, interoperable, like we have all said. I think off my head, those are the ones I can give you. There's a question somewhere here.
All right. Once again, thank you so much. So I want to pose to you a question, and it may not be actually so connected to this, but I heard you when you were at least delivering to us talking about NITA. There's something I've been thinking about. You have a national ID. A person may have a national ID.
Yeah.
They have maybe an account in Centenary Bank and they have that Visa card. They have another account in Bank of Africa. They have that Visa card, and Stanbic, the same thing. And maybe you're working for some organization, still you have a card. But you realize that at the end of the day, all these systems or cards are containing the same data. The same data. So, according to me, I had a thought, and I'm like, can't we at least, or can't we make like a card for a person? And maybe this card contains all their information, and in case a person went to open up a bank account, they may not require to get a Visa card or Centenary, and again you get the one of Stanbic, and again you get the one of ABSA, name them, and you can only use this card. Because at the end of the day, it's the same information. Yes? So, just...
Yeah, so thank you. There are two ways to this, two sides. There's the technology side and the business side. Your question. The technology side is that we have spoken about integrations, right? And interoperability. Ask yourself, first of all, can it happen? Can it be done? Technically. Yes, probably yes will be your answer. Because the technologies for integration are already there and exposed. Most of these databases and applications are exposed for you to access. Number two, will it make business sense to the parties involved? And I think for me that is the challenge. Also, number three, do the regulations and laws in the country support what you're trying to do? Probably yes. We have so many nice laws in this country. I think implementation is the issue. So for me, I think it's possible, but the businesses will keep calculating. If we have one card, how do we share the revenues? How do I gain as Stanbic? How do I gain as Centenary? I think that's the biggest hurdle. Once you can convince them to do that, technologically, it's not a problem. I don't see another angle. I think the three things: regulation, technology, and business sense. That makes business sense. Have I attempted? All right, thank you. So we have a few minutes to wind up. Maybe two more questions.
You talked about OWASP. My question is, as a developer, what steps can you take to mitigate the security vulnerabilities that are talked about by the OWASP, that are identified? Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I said earlier that before you think about implementing a security solution, you need to understand your product and environment under which it's going to operate. So the risks, there's a very simple template. You can even Google it, just a risk assessment template. For each of your products, ensure that, think like the business. A money transfer solution, okay? from one person A to B. What can go wrong? That's the risk. And then you need to rank the risk. So you might have 10 risks and say, oh, the code might be intercepted and another person takes the money. You see this one, I'm ranking it as high, red, high risk. Maybe someone can just see the transaction but not be able to do anything. That's a low risk. So from there, once you come up with that assessment, you look at your risks and say, out of these 10, which ones are high, which ones are medium, which ones are low. So you first tackle the high risks. Now, based on that, when you look at the OWASP, in the OWASP, if you look at it, authentication, how can you strengthen? What are the common issues with authentication? When it comes to APIs, what are the common risks with APIs? There's something called injection, SQL injection. What is the, sorry, not the medical injection, guys. Okay. What are the biggest issues with SQL injection and how can I handle? So I think you start with the risk assessment and then you look at the OWASP and then it should be able to guide your implementation. Then certainly you're now going to look for the tools to help you implement in your specific programming language. If it's any Python developers here? Oh, Java? What are you guys using these days? React? Node? Flutter? Interesting. Go? Go? Python, Java. Okay, so specific to your language, there will be tools that will help you and libraries that will help you implement some of those. So next question.
Okay, thank you very much. So you realize that most of us are startups. All our companies are startup companies. So my inquiry is, are there opportunities for startups like mentorship programs, investment programs that maybe you could recommend or that you could participate in to get capital from Centenary, or if Centenary is having any support programs for startups that we could participate in to get capital for our startup?
Okay, thank you. So regarding Centenary, like I said, we have another arm called the Centenary Foundation, which is actually the one that has been one of the sponsors for this event here. And the Centenary Foundation works with other players, like the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda, MasterCard. At least those are the two I know that have approached us. And all these guys are willing to tap into the innovation space to be able to help innovators. So we have some ideas we're putting together. They're not yet ripe, but in working with people like MasterCard, the Private Sector Foundation, and government, specifically the National ICT Hub. Any of you been to the hub? The National ICT Hub? At the moment, actually I was there yesterday. I am also a mentor there. They actually help startups, like have some space and things like that until you're ready to. So it's the quickest actually at the moment from the government side. The others, I'm sure you know. So I think that's all I can say. We are working on some things that are not yet quite there. But like I said, collaboration is the only way we can work on this challenge. The final question? No. Oh. Do we still have time? 9 minutes. Help kindly behind there. Let's keep it short. One of the things is also timekeeping and the skills that I missed out. I do not have all of them.
Thank you. So you're a senior developer. My question is around USSD. People have sung that USSD is the best option for one to implement an application for a button phone. But when you look at the costs you incur to implement USSD, they are quite high. So for startups like us that don't actually have even like initial funding, are there any other options that you could be knowing about based on your technology? Something that you could implement rather than USSD but still have it on the button phones?
tough question because I'm actually a retired developer. But USSD, the issue of costs, I think we have to look into the issues with the regulator, because the costs are from the UCC, right? The session costs, you mean? Huh? I hope that's what you mean by the costs. The annual, there's some payments you make monthly. Yeah, so I think we look at that from the regulation side and need to understand why the costs are high, including costs to do with data itself. And I think if you look at the digital transformation roadmap, once it comes out on Thursday, there are some strategies we have recommended there on how to engage with the authorities, especially the tax authorities, on matters to do with IT, devices, cost of internet, and all that, because that then affects the entire chain, right? Innovation, it affects uptake and rolling out. Okay, next, final question.
Apara Cecilia, team opportune. You said you're in the field of software developing at Centenary, right?
Yes.
And inquiring, do you offer internship programs at Centenary? Because
Yes.
I'm looking at this, I'm moving into my third year, and I'm moving into internship. So I'm inquiring if you have internship programs running.
We do.
Really?
Yes.
So, you know, you know, in Uganda, it's all about connection. So I don't know if you could help me out, because in my next year, I'm going in for internship. And I'm
Next
doing
year.
software engineering at Makere.
Give me your contact. Let's talk.
All right, sir. I'll reach out to you.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
So thank you all. It was, I've not done this in a while. Thank you for listening to me. I wish you all the best. Keep hope alive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Osbat. Once again, let us applaud him. And congratulations, Team Optune. It's all about connections, right? We are already connected. And Osbat did mention about something very important. I interacted with some teams yesterday, and I mentioned about you making your user journeys uncomplicated. Yeah? Very precise, very simple. Some of us are having very long user journeys. You click here, then you do this, then you do this. A lot of corners, right? The users are going to run away. Yeah? The users are going to run away. So up next, Ivan, come and help us exercise a little bit. And then we have, Ivan is not, he just stepped up out. So who's going to help us exercise a little bit? Who? Oh, it is Maureen. Okay, let us all welcome Maureen. Asimwe. Hurry, we don't have time. Our facilitators are coming up. Take us through MVP phase 1. So let us stand up, please.
Okay, hi everyone. All right, let's go. Hands up, down, up, down, sideways, 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 squat,
Mastula didn't do anything. Okay, she's now doing. Okay, let us sit. Cleopatra, please, and your team, you're welcome.
Fortune is separate. wachikuba wamalayo anti money bags nzabimala njoba I make money neyagale life is financially simplified.
Where's the other mic? The microphone, let me get it.
Continue playing the music. I want to dance for the participants here. Jokes!
Money bags in Zabimala. I make money, well to do. Life is financially simplified. Make money where I got it.
Yes, continue. Don't stop. Let's dance. Just a simple move. Get up. Money bags, one more time. It's a nice tune, eh?
I'm succeeding.
Hey. Just one stroke. Mastula, come on, join me. Go. Just this one stroke. Let's do it together.
Life is financially simplified.
Let's go.
Skins in answer to Kirabazongo. TikTok bagobe bali mbuwambi. Pledge kande chukumia wetu tusao. iPhone phone ebidala telephone. Flight.
Okay. Thank you. So, how are you this morning? You're good? I'm also fine. I'm not getting the vibe. Are you fine?